Close your eyes. Picture the Giza Plateau. What do you see? Perhaps a line of thousands of emaciated men, loincloths clinging to their sun-scorched skin. You hear the sharp crack of a whip. You see a cruel overseer screaming as they strain to haul a colossal stone block across the burning sand. This is the image we've been sold for a century, a tale of suffering, of slaves building a monument to tyranny. Now, open your eyes and let that image dissolve like a mirage in the heat. The truth is far more profound and infinitely more fascinating. The archaeological evidence tells a different story. The hands that built the Great Pyramid of Khufu were not shackled. They were the hands of skilled masons, of quarrymen, of farmers serving a national project during the Nile's annual flood. They were men who believed they were not merely building a tomb, but crafting a resurrection machine, a stairway to the heavens for their living God. This wasn't slavery as we imagine it. It was the most ambitious public works project in human history, and it was fueled not primarily by fear, but by a shared cosmic purpose, and rewarded with something far more valuable to a laborer than threats: a steady supply of bread, meat, and beer. Your life is hard, yes, unimaginably so, but you are not a slave. You are a builder of eternity. Your tool, a simple bronze chisel, feels heavy in your hand. It's dented, worn from shaping stone, much like your own body is worn from the work. But with it, you are shaping forever. Welcome to Epoch Immersion, your portal to the past. Today we leave the realm of myth and step into the calloused sandals of one of the tens of thousands who achieved the impossible. We are going to find out what it was really like to be a pyramid builder at Giza during Egypt's 4th dynasty, circa 2550 BC. This isn't a story about distant pharaohs or abstract gods. This is the story of you. It's about the limestone grit under your fingernails, the permanent ache in your lower back, and the unwavering belief that you are engaged in cosmic work. It's the story of how your mortal, fragile hands could raise a mountain of stone designed to last forever. Your dented bronze chisel feels like an extension of your own arm, a conduit between your will and the unyielding rock. So what was the great allure? Why would you, a farmer whose life is governed by the rhythms of the Nile, dedicate years to this back-breaking labor? The answer wasn't compulsion, but a complex mix of duty, honor, and tangible reward. Let's explore the pros of a life spent in the shadow of the gods. The first and most powerful reason you are here is not something you can hold, but a force you feel in your very soul. It is Ma'at, the sacred principle of order, truth, and cosmic balance. Your pharaoh is the living embodiment of the God's will on earth, the linchpin holding chaos at bay. By building his eternal vessel for the afterlife, you are not just serving a king, you are personally upholding the fabric of the universe. With every swing of your mallet, your dented chisel strikes a blow against disorder. Each perfectly squared block is a prayer in stone, a guarantee that the sun will continue to rise, the Nile will flood and bring life, and Egypt will endure. This is a divine purpose that elevates your sweat and toil into an act of worship. But the gods provide for those who serve, and the pharaoh provides for his builders. While your family and your home village might face the constant threat of a poor harvest, here on the Giza Plateau, your belly is full. You receive daily rations of calorie-rich, coarse-baked bread, sharp onions, and most importantly, beer. This isn't the watery drink we know today, but a thick, nutritious, fermented liquid that serves as both food and currency the state provides. On special festival days, you even eat meat from the royal herds and fish from the Nile, a rare luxury that marks you as a valued member of this great enterprise. You are also part of something bigger than yourself, a brotherhood. You work in a team, a ZA, perhaps with a proud name like the Friends of Khufu or the Drunkards of Menkori. You share jokes, compete with other teams, and forge bonds in the shared effort and dust. If you find this complex social structure of the ancient world fascinating, make sure you're subscribed to Epoch Immersion for more deep dives. Should you suffer an accident, a crushed finger, or a broken leg, a priest-physician will tend to you. Evidence from the workers' cemetery shows bones were professionally set, even amputations performed. You are not disposable. You are a skilled asset worth healing. This is the allure. You are a respected craftsman, and your sacred engineering grants you a status and security that echoes long after the day's work is done. But for every ration of bread, you pay a heavy price in flesh and bone. The sacred work is a relentless, grinding assault on your body. You wake before the sun has even touched the horizon, every muscle screaming in protest from the day before. The air itself is your enemy, thick with the fine white dust of Tura limestone, a constant gritty powder that coats your throat and settles deep in your lungs. With every breath, you are inhaling the very substance you are shaping, a slow poison that will harden your lungs over time. This is the harsh reality that underpins the divine mission. Danger is a shadow that follows your every move. A frayed palm fiber rope, a moment of lost footing on the ramps, a shouted command lost in the wind. Any of these can lead to disaster. 2.5 tons of limestone, the weight of a small elephant, can crush a man to pulp in a heartbeat. The nearby workers' cemeteries tell this story in stark detail. Skeletons show evidence of healed fractures, yes, but they also reveal the unhealed trauma of catastrophic crush injuries and fatal falls. The project is immortal, but you are terrifyingly fragile. Your own body becomes a chronicle of the construction. The bones of your spine, examined by archaeologists 4,500 years later, show severe compression and arthritic decay from a lifetime of hauling and lifting. Your hands, the instruments of your craft, are a roadmap of pain. A mass of hardened calluses, deep scars, and broken nails. Now look down at your dented bronze chisel. See how the cutting edge is blunted and chipped. See how the butt end is mushroomed and deformed from thousands of mallet blows. It is a perfect metaphor for you. In your service to this eternal mountain of stone, your own mortal body is being worn away, chipped and broken, one agonizing day at a time. So what is the actual rhythm of your existence? Your life is a cycle dictated by the sun. You rise in the cool gray pre-dawn, housed not in a squalid camp, but in a sprawling, highly organized city, what archaeologists now call Hayt el Ghurab, the lost city of the pyramid builders. You sleep in long barrack-like galleries alongside the rest of your team. Your breakfast is simple and fuel-focused. A piece of coarse bread from the state bakeries, a few sharp onions, and a quick drink of water. Then you join the river of thousands of men, a tide of humanity flowing out of the city and up towards the growing shadow on the plateau. Your workday is not mindless toil, but a masterpiece of logistics. You are part of a ZA, a gang of around 20 men. This is your immediate work family. 10 such gangs form a file, and you take immense pride in your group's efficiency. You might not be hauling blocks. That is just one of many jobs. Perhaps you're a quarryman, using the clever technique of swelling wet wooden wedges to split the bedrock. Or you are one of the most vital workers, a skilled mason, the final shaper of the stone. Your life becomes a rhythm of precise, repeated actions, the steady tap, tap, tap of your bronze chisel against the limestone. The coordinated chant as your team levers a block, the constant measuring with plumb bobs and set squares. When the sun is a merciless hammer at its zenith, you break. You find a sliver of shade at the pyramid's base, eating another meal of bread, radishes, and garlic, and drinking deeply from water skins. The work resumes until the sky begins to turn orange over the western desert. Utterly spent, you trek back to the village. The evening is for repair of your tools and your body. You might patiently sharpen your chisel's blunted edge on a block of sandstone. Your main meal is now perhaps a thick stew of lentils with more of the essential bread and beer. Archaeologists have unearthed the bones of so much fish, cattle, sheep, and goat here that they estimate tens of thousands of pounds of meat were consumed weekly. If you appreciate this level of historical detail, let us know in the comments what aspect of their diet you find most surprising. If any strength remains, there might be a game of Senate scratched into the dust, or quiet conversation. But soon, exhaustion claims you. You collapse onto your reed mat in the crowded gallery, finding a brief, dreamless oblivion before the sun commands you to rise and do it all again. But brute force alone cannot build eternity. Your most powerful asset isn't just the strength in your back, but the cunning in your mind. You are a master of leverage, angles, and ingenious workarounds, secrets of the craft that would be forgotten for millennia, sparking theories of impossible technologies. Take the problem of freeing a 2.5-ton block from the bedrock. You don't just hack at it. Your team carves precise channels, hammers and dry wooden wedges, and then pours water over them. Overnight, the wood swells with an irresistible silent force, splitting the massive block from the earth with a deep groan, a perfect, clean break. Now you must move it. Your team knows the secret. A worker walks just ahead of the huge wooden sledge, pouring a precise amount of water onto the sand in its path. Too little and the sand plows up, too much and it becomes slush. Just the right amount makes the surface firm, slashing the friction by half. With a coordinated heave, the colossal weight begins to slide, a secret of applied physics understood not through equations but through practical genius. To raise the blocks ever higher, you build vast ramps of earth and rubble. Not a single, impossibly long ramp, but likely a clever system that spiraled up the pyramid's sides as it grew. But the true mastery, the signature of your sacred engineering, is in the details. That simple, dented bronze chisel in your hands can shave a casing stone to a tolerance of less than a millimeter. You and your fellow masters use water-filled trenches to level the entire 13-acre base to within the width of your thumb. Using the movements of the stars and simple sighting poles, you align the entire monument to true north with an accuracy that would challenge modern surveyors. You are not just a laborer, you are a practical scientist, an intuitive engineer, and a craftsman solving a divine puzzle. So, what is the final verdict on the life of a pyramid builder? You lived and died in the shadow of a mountain you helped create. Your body was broken by the labor, your lungs were likely scarred by the dust, and your individual name is lost to time, erased like a footprint in the shifting sand. Was it worth it? From your perspective, the answer is an undeniable yes. You traded your fleeting, fragile existence for a hand in crafting eternity. You sacrificed your mortal body to uphold Ma'at, the cosmic order that held the universe together. Your legacy is not an inscription on a tomb wall, but a 2 million block testament to what focused collective belief can achieve. That humble, dented bronze chisel, which now might sit as a silent artifact behind museum glass, is the ultimate proof that the simplest tools, when guided by a grand purpose, can create the most profound and enduring wonders. But does that ancient mindset echo in our world of 2025? We no longer raise stone tombs for our leaders, and yet we still build pyramids. Our modern pyramids are not always visible. They are the vast invisible cathedrals of code that form the internet, built by millions of programmers. They are the particle colliders, miles in circumference, buried deep beneath the earth, searching not for an afterlife, but for the very origins of our universe. They are the deep space telescopes, peering back across billions of years to the dawn of time itself. Each of these is a monumental collective project built by thousands of brilliant individuals whose names will largely be forgotten, but their work contributes to a legacy that will far outlast their own lifespans. The fundamental human urge to trade our brief moment for a piece of forever has not changed. The tools are different, but the sacred engineering of the human spirit continues. What do you think is our modern equivalent of building a pyramid? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this journey, please like and subscribe for more immersions into the past. Thank you for joining us on Epoch Immersion.